Today we enter into a new thinking about which we have never had any acquaintance. We use number of words, but really we do not know what we mean by putting forward those words. Our comprehension is very gross. Man moves. How does he move? He is not connected to any power system externally, as we see in the external world, that everything is externally connected to some power system. Then that moves. But man is not like that. He says, I am moving. Who is that I am who is moving? If it is just the limbs moving, limbs cannot move. Physical body cannot move. There is some activation inside. That is I am. So that activating entity inside I am is moving. I am moving. When that activation moves, prime mover moves, then the moved body will move. This is something, a very highest order of secret with the man. It is his own word, his own sentence, but not known to him. Now, what is that I am, and what is this moving, and what is the pictorial, physical movement that we see? How are they linked? This is something to be analyzed. We say, I am thinking. What is it he is doing? He says, I am thinking. He says, right. What is that order? What is that function inside? Put it in some pictorial form or a non-physical form. Something to explain about it. And first of all, define it. No. Everybody knows thinking. This is where we have to enter into a new subject. We see that, say, when electric current is supplied, the switch is put on, then the current is supplied. It is conducting through the wires. It is moving as a conductor till the end of the moved object. This is a theory where we say it is moved. But this physical body is not moved. Today we have the remote control system. Remote control, at least that activates itself, and that is transmitted to the object. That is a logic. It explains to us only to the extent of a logic, but not to the reality. Similarly, we have buddhi, intellect, mind. These are non-physical items. These non-physical items work for the remote controls. But we don't see any physical activity as we see the current conducting through the wires. It is not like that. If any physical activity we can see, it is only on the physical body conducting. But this is controlled by a remote place as mind, intelligence. These are some words which English language can say. Beyond, from the language Samskrita, there are manas, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, intelligence correction, explained to be more vivid in giving the narrations, to bring more pictorially, non-physically, pictorially to experience for comprehension. Now, beyond all this, they are all again driven by another remote inside, and that is explained as the element of existence. The element of existence is one which man has never thought till today. Probably many saints have also not thought, though there is a word, Sat-Cit-Ananda. Sat is the element of existence. Saints talk about it, but they cannot explain. The scientist Paul, he considered the element of existence, but he said that which can be seen physically and which he can kick is the element of existence. He did not accept even non-physical entities inside, because it is out of his purview to be able to imagine or comprehend. Now, this is the real prime mover, and the moving of this Sat, the element of existence, it is not like current moving, conducting, nor even pushing it from inside to outside. No. It is all-pervading. All-pervading, the word is used. Pervasion is English word, but Sanskrit language, vyapti. Vyapti is viseshena apnoti iti vyapti. Distinctly attained is vyapti. It is pervasion, characteristical pervasion. It is not that the element of existence is pervaded there, it is attained there. The entire universe is all pervasion of the element of existence. Interconnected, nothing can shake it. There is no contingency as the element of existence goes for non-existence or seeks existence from elsewhere or gets troubled in some situation. It is beyond all that, and it is really not the doer nor the enjoyer. Just by pervasion, being attained there, it controls. Just like a self-centering. Self-centering. We have in mechanical lathe machine, self-centering check we have. We keep some object there. It keeps rotating. In the rotation, it is self-centered. It is another logic it is. But here, there is no rotation. It is self-centered. And that self-centering is in terms of subjectivity. The entire universe is in terms of subjectivity. Subjectivity is one what when we say expressed I am moving, that I am is a sense of subjectivity. It is not a personification of either a physical body or non-physical entity. It is subjectivity, and this subjectivity is the gravity of the universe. Now, this element of existence is the universe. Universe, single single version. Universe is single version. There is no other version. As we go on narrating, talking, explaining, all this are centripetal to this universe. Say, I am. That I am is the concentration, is one reflected outside. To explain anything, they come from within. That I am sense, it comes within. Thus, the language Samskrita explains the physical body as we say, man as we call, physical and non-physical entities together. This it explains as the non-physical electromagnetic field. Let's understand. Electromagnetic, when we say, it is only non-physical. What we call in the scientific terms, it's only a logical explanation where the physics follows a logic of the non-physical subjectivity of the physics. Even the inanimate entire external cosmos is on subjectivity of this, the element of existence. And the way it is explained as electromagnetic is defined. It has to be defined. Vida sata yauti iti vidyut, vida chetanena yauti iti vidyut, vida akhyane prakashena yauti iti vidyut, vida nivasena yauti iti vidyut, vida vicharanena yauti iti vidyut, vida jnanena yauti iti vidyut, vida labhena samruddhya yauti iti vidyut. There are 7 elements. Yauti, reaching, correlated by Sata, element of existence. Chetanena, the element of activation. Akyanena, prakashena, the element of revelation. And Nivasena, the element of dwelling. Then the element of discrimination. Discriminate always with this element of existence, activation, revelation, and dwelling. Because that is dwelling. That is the basic. So everything goes in terms of that. In terms of that. Let us be very perfect in this word. Everything go in terms of the element of existence. Nothing can be explained in any other terms. If it is explained in any other terms, it's only conformed to the physics. That again has to be put a question and take the real terms. By these 5 elements comes the element awareness. Then vida jnanena yauti, by awareness, being correlated with awareness. And these 6 are, one is element of existence, Sat. The other 5 are Chit, the effective activation. Effective activation is activation, revelation, dwelling, and discrimination, and awareness. This correlation should be in a perfect condition. This is Ananda, Samruddhi. Samruddhi is full-fledged. Nothing to be disturbed at any time. It is. This is called Sankhya. Well told. Well told. It should not seek any other contingency at any time in the universe, in the open universe, in the universe of endless. That is the universe. This is, in English, we call Yada. E, existence. A, activation or revelation. D, dwelling. D, discrimination. A, awareness. A, accomplishment. Yada. E, existence. A, activation or revelation. D, dwelling. D, discrimination. A, awareness. A, accomplishment. Yada. This is universe. Man is part of the universe. He is that Yada. And that Yada as subjectivity is in the form of consciousness. Entire universe is consciousness of Yada. That consciousness of Yada is further developed to make the universe a perfect, full-fledged, accomplished universe, single version. You have just now seen the animation. You have just now seen the animation of this emblem. Existence, activation, revelation, dwelling, discrimination, awareness, accomplishment, together form Yada. This Yada develops itself as 10 entities here. This is Deva, the concept of God. Concept of God goes in terms of Krida, conduct, Vijikisha, conquer, Vyavahara, transaction, Dyuti, light, Stuti, worth, Moda, pleasure, Mother, satisfaction, Swapna, repose, Kanti, glow, Gati, awareness. All these are in terms of Yada. And further, they are in terms of Yada. These are to be taken into consciousness. Consciousness is again in the 6 elements. This is called Bhagavan. This Bhagavan, Shakti, efficiency, Jnana, awareness, Tejas, tenacity, Virya, progress, Bala, attainment, Aishwarya, appointing. With this, the universe has developed itself for universion. With this universion, the universe has designed. This is the external cosmos. And you see a figure here. This is the man. This is not physical. It's just to show you in a physical way. It's a line diagram. But this man here is consciousness of Yada in terms of consciousness of Yada, Deva and Bhagavan. He is designed, full-fledged. And same way, this is also external cosmos is also designed. We are now, as we are, the designed entities. We are not puppets. We are not dwindling. We are not vacillating. We are steady. We are steady. And we have been given much to comprehension. Now, In this, as the design goes, this man is the comprehending cosmos, and this is greater cosmos or external cosmos. Both are consciousness cosmos. They are not different. Now, this external cosmos is sustaining and maintaining its design undisturbed. We physically see many movements in the external cosmos. This seeing is man's reflection. We have to understand one truth. It is container and contained logic said. Any contained material cannot be held without a container. Container may be of any order. This is the physical. Say if you have to take a milk, you should have a vessel. And the vessel must be right enough to take the contained, the material object. So too, man must be aware that he is the container of the entire universe. Now, entire universe is consciousness of Yada, as we have now just seen. And in terms of the external cosmos, the entire external cosmos and this physics and his non-physical entities, all these things, this man can take it. He is the container. He is a stable container. We have in the physics the nucleus. Nucleus is very stable. It is very strong in its limited field. It is because the entire universe is a heap of arranged heap of nucleus. So it is necessary that it should be very strong, and very strong nucleus are pervading the entire universe. It is physical logic, physical example for man to comprehend. Man, in his own place, he is that nucleus, stable nucleus, very highly potential, where he can take the entire external universe, as we see this extending the hands we show. This entire universe he may be able to take it. All the disturbances there shall not disturb his consciousness. There is no disturbance externally, but the comprehension is going in a reverse way. He is disturbed because he is trying to reflect himself externally. This is the mistake man is doing it. This is the mistake. He is not needed to reflect outside. He is only to the spectator. His rays may go to any extent. Before we talk about these rays going externally, we have to sustain a reality with us. We have not discussed Vidyut, that is Yada being correlated with him. This is Vidyut. Now we call electricity. That is physical logic. This is non-physical reality. Vidyut. And this Vidyut going for conduct in the external, and that conduct being in his revelation is magnetism. Ayaskanta. Ayaha Kanta. Kanta is revelation. Ayaha is conduct. Ayaskanta, conduct by Yada. He, in his deeps, in his source, is that Vidyudayaskanta, electromagnetic, and his non-physical entities are a field of electromagnetism. His non-physical bhavyos, his non-physical field is this non-physical electromagnetism. Not only that, this physical body, as we now see, is also within the purview of the field of non-physical electromagnetism. It is a flux, non-physical electromagnetic flux. You see the logic? Anywhere, even in a fan, once the fan is put on, current is supplied, it builds up its own electromagnetic field between the stator and the rotor. But it doesn't flow out. It doesn't flow out. That logic is from the design of the universe. Here, this is electromagnetic field, a flux. It doesn't flow out, and nothing can enter inside also. Nothing external can enter inside. And for such a control, we have all our limbs and sensories. We have 5 sensories: listening, touch, seeing, tasting, smelling. 5 action organs: hand, leg, talking, defecation, and passing urine. We discuss at length about this in the 21 papers that are being released today. This is that event. We only discuss just to touch the point today. Listening. What does he listen? We say, I listen a song, a talking, or a sound. No. In the terms of the universe, that is only sound. And sound he cannot take. He will not take. This is electromagnetic field. Electromagnetic field are Vidyudayaskanta of Sat-Cit-Ananda. Electromagnetic field of the consciousness of Yada. Nothing but that. There is a flux. Sound is external. I don't take sound. Man may say that I am listening. He is listening. He is not taking sound. There is a lot of difference between listening and taking sound. Let us not just oozingly use words without knowing what we are doing. Listening is, even in the flux at the senses, it is electromagnetic conduction in millivolts. And the units, physical units of sound is decibels. Now we see the difference. Now I hold my own electromagnetic flux in terms of millivolts here on the sensories. I don't allow sound to come in. Same way, touch. If somebody touches, generally man feels somebody has touched. That touch I have known. That touch I have known, he says. That sound I have listened. That touch I have known. Sound I have listened. Sound I have listened in my terms of millivolts. At the senses, not deep. Deep is lot much. Even at the senses, I have listened in my terms, not in terms of the sound. Same way, somebody touches, I know my touching sense than the touched object externally. Same way, seeing, object is there, but here I don't take the object, I take only an image. That image also, I am sure for all certainties that external is external, mine is something different. I take the external in the reverse image. This concave lens takes in the reverse image. So I don't take anything external. Even the taste and the smelling goes in the same explanation. You will read it in the science papers with due charts everywhere. Right. Now, here we have established that this is non-physical electromagnetic flux by the consciousness of Yada. Nothing else. Nothing can come out. If something is to enter inside, it is entering as received in my terms. Let us understand this now. Listening. Listening is at the sensories, it is in terms of millivolts. At the brain, it is in terms of waves. At the mind, we call in Sanskrita manas. Manas is non-physical sensing. Brain waves are physical come non-physical because they are active. Physical body is activated by non-physical signals. It is not just a physical entity. A physical entity like a stick or a stone cannot be activated. And this physical body is designed to be activated by non-physical and supply to sense also non-physical in accomplishment. It is designed. It is designed to the status of the sense inside, to the full status, to accomplish in the full status. No misuse, no misfit, no trial and error methods here. Design has never this trial and error methods, misfits. So mind is a sense of non-physical. The signals of the brain are sensed in non-physical. You could understand by non-physical. And buddhi is the next stage. It is called, we say, paka, protected attainment of consciousness. That will take it, decide it as non-physical and meddle with it. Unless it is decided as non-physical entity, it doesn't meddle with it. It is not concerned with it. That is the entity, buddhi. Then comes chitta. Chitta is activation. Activation, non-physical sensing. Activation of non-physical sensing. He is not activating sound. He is not even activating the millivolts. He is not activating the signals. He is not activating the sense which mind has taken. He is activating that conformity of non-physical sense where worth of dealing with, that it will activate and promote. Promote it to sense of self. That is self. That is I am. That I am is doing. This I am ahankara, chitta, activation, buddhi, conforming, and mind, non-physical sensing. All the four agencies put together and synthesized, called as intelligence. And the intelligence, again further, it corrects to be carried forward or to be lifted to its source. That source is consciousness of Yada. That sound in these 10 stages goes to that source consciousness of Yada and compared there, discrimination. Compared there, discriminated there, and discriminated only so as to develop the sense of consciousness of the being. It acts. And today we act all perverted. And this is called Sattva Rajas Tamo Guna, triple attribute. This triple attribute works in a different channel. It doesn't work in the designed channel. Designed channel is always protected. Protected as a screen for the distorted channel, where this distorted channel has to be compared with this beam of the design channel. It is always compared. Comparing is not an activity. It is an existence, and that receives this as for comparison, standard for comparison. And once it's compared with the reality, that goes as non-real. So any transaction, affairs, man, innumerable affairs, every second he is making a new affair, all go away into forgetfulness. Gatam nasti. They are drawn out into his purview. That is the influence of the designed beam of consciousness of Yada, designed flux of the non-physical electromagnetism by the consciousness of Yada. This is never put off. It puts off the entire, all the affairs. A ball is bowled to a bat, and the batsman throws it out, hits it. That's all. That's a logic. That's a logic. This is reality. It is always being done with every man. So, what we have seen is man is something supreme, highly supreme than what he is thinking of. Probably he is not even thinking about him from the reality, not in an iota of thinking. If it is a micro thinking about him, a micro order, a miniature, let us say, a miniature order of thinking also. This is also in a negative charge he is thinking. He is not even the positive charge. This is the new subject we are trying to enter today. Now, he is the man. This is the man. This man is now moving as though he is a scientist. Let us see the reality. Where is the science and where is the scientist? He explains the entire science physically, but the entire science is working from his source of consciousness of Yada. Nothing else. As the man is working externally, his flux is working in a remote control, and they flow through these limbs and action organs, sense organs, to work externally. Once these action organs go to work externally, the ray is passed on there. A ray is passed on, flux is not passed on. And these some of the terms, a flux having a ray, all these things, if we just think in the physical terms, we don't get it. This is, any vocabulary is consciousness of Yada. Any vocabulary is consciousness of Yada working as the non-physical electromagnetic field, flux. Anything goes. If we use the word ray here because the scientific field today is conversant with that word. But the language Samskrita calls it as kirana. Kirana is different from ray. Kirana is ray is a physical item. We see something is physically traveling. This is not like that. Kruvitshepe. It is beyond remote control. But for us to understand, we use the word ray. So once the ray goes there externally, the external, inanimate entities, they go on building, he'll be working. Once he withdraws, that is inanimate body. There is no science there. Science is a consciousness. Science is consciousness. Science is consciousness of yada. Science is not simple physics. He is working as long as the scientist is thinking that he is working externally, he is working with his source, the consciousness of yada. Once the consciousness of yada is cut out, there is no external. We call a foolish man working. Senseless working, we call. That sense is to be coupled. Anything that he is doing outside, it is coupled with the sense. Inside sense. Sense with the source. Sense with the source. We only try to bring sense with the externals. There is no sense for the external. If there is a sense, it is inanimate. It is inanimate. And this animate body has to activate it for animation and make it worth enough so that he can establish some reality to be comprehended from a physics. Well, this is what he is trying. Today we see all the 5 elements are expressing only non-real properties. They are not physical. Space is not physical, simple physical. Space has 25 definitions for non-physical comprehension, defined in the language Samskrita. Air has 24 definitions for non-physical comprehension, and fire has 49 definitions for non-physical comprehension. Opus, we call water, has 37 definitions for non-physical comprehension, and earth has 29 definitions for non-physical comprehension. They reveal non-physical entity, the consciousness of yada. That consciousness of yada, only that is being revealed, puts it accomplished to be on physical revelations, to physically balance the universe also. Just as a man in the non-physical consciousness inside, working outside, balanced. In the balancing, the non-physical comprehension consciousness should be balanced. Then non-physical field is balanced. Then the physical body field is balanced. Only then his external activity is balanced. Unless the source is balanced, the externals are not balanced. Sat-Cit-Ananda consciousness is moving out as the man is walking. Today we say man is walking with legs. It is unscientific, unreal. Man is not walking with legs. Man's walking is in all these stages: legs, and then millivolts, organs, action organ, brain, mind, manas, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, intelligence, correction, consciousness of yada. All these stages are expressing walking. They are expressing in different terms, their own terms. We see in the papers, science papers, flow charts for everything. In all the 10 stages, we get a flow chart here. How do they express? And if a man calls only walking by legs is walking, how about the walking in all the 10 stages till the source? It's an integration of all that. It's an integration of all that. And even integration is not just by integral calculus explained, although the science papers have put up the integral summing, but it's not the total reality. Okay, now, so his expression that I am walking with legs is wrong. It is cut off from the source. Ray cut off from the source. Intelligence cut off from the source. Reality cut off from the source. This legs walking has to be connected to the source and explained. Develop your vocabulary, develop your expression, develop your language to the reality. Let him not be egoistic by just observing on physical area and say that he is that. This is not science. This is unscientific. And this is not life. Moving, eating. None of the words man is using on the physical field are about the physics. It is because his sense from the source is working. Say, without a hand, anything cannot be lifted. Any physics cannot be lifted without a hand. Same way, without the source, anything cannot be lifted, concerned. Anything cannot be talked about, thought. And now we come to the word thinking, thought. Thinking, thought we use, but we really do not know what we are doing it. This, the external, entire physics is being converted into, is being translated into non-physical language for us to take. And from the non-physical language, we decode to act externally. This is thinking. This is putting back the thoughts, revealing out the thoughts. Man is, even a student, a child, is reading a book. He says, I am reading a book. I am understanding. What is he doing? What does he mean by reading? What does he mean by understand? What is that activity? What is the channel of the activity? We do not know. We feel, I have understood. What he has understood also know. What is the language of this understanding also? No. He feels that he is reading the book. Book is a dead language. It is a red object. He is reading himself. As he reads his non-physical electromagnetic flux, it is an image to say that the book is red. Do we say that the electromagnetic flux is activated to take the matter there? No. That is a logic applied. And this is source of the logic. So as he is going through the book, he is trying to activate the source, logic of the source. Once he understands the logic of the source, that is reading, that is understanding. Once he puts back, he doesn't mug up and then put back. he puts it in his own language. This is common man saying. In his own language. His own language is consciousness of Yada. In the language of his consciousness of Yada, coming out, he does it. Let us understand this also. We have this thought, this concept in the non-physical electromagnetic flux. Once this comes out of this vocal fold, there with this breathe out air, it is coming in the form of sound, talk. Until that, it is non-physical electromagnetic flux. Are you feeling that something beyond imagination or beyond man's conception is being talked today? No, not at all. No, not at all. Not at all. You are that. Thou art that. You are that. Arise. Awake. Come out of this illusionary pond. Come out of this illusionary pond. Know yourself. Know yourself. Enjoy yourself. You are one with the universe, interconnected. You are the universe. You can see the entire universe. You are seeing in the entire universe is not a macro, it is a micro. The more micro you are, the more you are contented. The more you are contented, your content is more. Right? You are, all the words say subjectivity, attraction, and say density, power, force, mass. All the words that are being used in the physics are logical explanation only. Logic is only can give us to some extent. Let us see an example. A logic. Man wants to see the moon. A boy wants to see the moon. And the father is explaining, look at that tree, that branch, the end of the branch. Look at that. You will see moon far off. Now, moon is not on the tree, on the branch, or at the end of the branch. It is far off. His vision is focused to that spot where from he can see the moon far off. The entire life, physical life, man is using it, taking it as a lifestyle, and the entire sciences, bread earning, education, is only that tree, that branch, end of the branch. And far off that limited logic it is. Limited logic. It cannot explain totally. It can neither explain the external cosmos. It can neither explain the comprehending cosmos. It can neither explain the non-physical electromagnetic field. It can neither explain the non-physical field inside, and definitely not the source. Let us know for all certainties that every activity man is doing is a dialogue between the sense and the source. A dialogue between the sense and source, where man is trying to read, activate, read, monitor, and correct. Read, monitor, and correct his sense and his source. He is only doing that, leaving the man for that job, that activity. All the affairs are pushed out. Can you say the number of affairs that a man has moved with today till this time, innumerable. They are not 2 or 3. And for all the life past, they are all gone. And what is it the man has done? Nothing. If he says, I have eaten, eaten means eaten. He should not eat again. He should not eat again. If he has to eat again, then the saying that I have eaten is a past tense not done. Because it is, if he has eaten, he is again trying to eat now. It is not repeating. It is a joke. If something is done, it is done. And it should never rise back again for him to do it. That is doing. You are designed by that activity. So, all these external activities, they cannot project themselves to this reality. So, they go away. We call them as going away in forgetfulness. You are beyond that forgetfulness. And that forgetfulness is conducted by you by the conduct of the consciousness of yada in the non-physical electromagnetic flux. That is always glowing, never put off. Never put off. All the affairs they cannot reach, they go away. Follow you? So, probably it's a renaissance, not a simple renaissance. We have to plough ourselves totally, because today we are physical puppets as we think of. No, you are non-physical divine entity. A non-physical divine entity. Physics cannot face you, so it is going away. We call passing of life. Life never passes. Life is living. Being is to be. To be is being. To be established, to be in the entity of existence is being. He is never dead. To be, being, is out of the concerns, are unconcerned of, doesn't allow an entity of mortality, an entity as death. There is no death in the universe. There is no birth in the universe. There is a live entity, consciousness of yada. Only entity, universal in this universe. All the 21 papers go to explain them scientifically. An eminent scientist, Einstein, called this entity as absoluteness. He worked till he cast off his body for this absoluteness. He did lot of research on physics. Gigantic research he has done it, no doubt about it. He always compared with his aim of absoluteness and said that all my scientific experiments have not given me this absoluteness. I have failed. He admitted it. That is his greatness. He was not egoistic. Let us be that. Let us be Saint-Cum-Scientists. A simple scientist cannot explain. And the saints we had earlier, this Yada is Veda. Yada is Veda. Veda explains more of science. Science in terms of consciousness of Yada. Science not in other terms. Explanation is something different. And that explanation will touch man's comprehension. Just physically expression we see in the classroom. There will be 40, 90 students will be there. It doesn't touch the comprehension of all the students. It is because they are not designed for that. If only that science is explained in terms of the consciousness of Yada, every student will be perfectly understanding it. Perfectly understanding is our word. Perfectly comprehending, to be elevated in non-physical attainment. This we call as Brahman. Attainment in the non-physical elevation is Brahman. They are not physical entities. None of Hindu philosophy explain any physical entity. Neither Narayana, Shiva, Parvati, Lakshmi, Brahman, Indra, God, none of them, none of Puranas, nowhere it is physical explanation. While today every saint is talking about them only in physical entities. So he is failing to bring to the students the reality. They are all non-physical entities, non-physically comprehensible by the man, non-physically comprehensible by the man. This is an emphatic statement. May the man rise, may the saint rise to it, may the saint rise to it, may the scientist rise to it. He is not just scientist, he is not just a saint, he is a Saint-Cum-Scientist. Veda has been expressed by Saint-Cum-Scientists, by saintly life. They are saints. They are not conscious of the physics in the form of physical body, physics in the form of the external cosmos. They are not. If only they are that way, they can never express any reality. Consciousness of physics can never express any reality. They are such saints. And Panini Maharshi, he is more a saint, more a scientist. Today we explain from his grammar the entire scientific terms. He developed the language, grammar of Sanskrit, not just by physics, not just by a language. They should sustain and maintain the expression of consciousness of Yada, the non-physical electromagnetic flux, the interconnected entity of the universe. His language, grammar of that language is that elevated entity. This display talks about non-physical gravity of universe. The way in the physics, external cosmos as we see, and getting synthesized with the conscious cosmos, non-physical, animate, non-physical conscious cosmos, that is being explained, and the beings are not let loose. They are always under the control of that universe that never let out. That this display explains. Characteristic composer of composite, centrifugal and centripetal to compose, balance, compact subjectivity of consciousness of the elementary element of existence. This is C to the power 7 subjectivity of C cubed. This is gravity of the universe. And physical perspective cannot perceive this subjectivity, gravity, where the element of existence is beyond imagination. If the basic element of existence is beyond imagination, none of this, neither the reality is known, nor even the unreality is known, neither the physics is known, nor the external physics is known, neither real life, non-physical life is known, not even mundane life, not even a mundane life is known. Nothing is known. He is the embodiment of ignorance. Element of existence is the universion of the universe, and we are under subjectivity. The external universe is acting, putting the beings in the centripetal action, and it acting as centrifugal, you see, and composite together, balancing it. Beings are balanced. Every activity, every small job of a man, every minute movement of a man, physically or non-physically, is being calculated for his elevation. Calculated for his elevation, not just slurred off. We slur off. It is not slurred off. Let us write to our own calculation, which the universe, if man thinks the Godhead pervading, this Sat-Cit-Ananda, this consciousness of Yada, coming in form of revelation of the 10 activities we have sent us as Godhead, and the 6 activities of efficiency in it, that is our design element. We are not designed by flesh. Even the flesh, blood, bones, 7 elements, they are not magic entities. They are designed for your royalty, your revelation of the consciousness. They support only that action. Let us not be underestimating ourselves. Let us rise to our own elevations. The 21 papers which are being released today, they aim at Saint-Cum-Scientist of every man, and a saintly life where nothing can miss him, nothing can displease him, nothing can confuse him, nothing can deceive him, where everything is conducive for him to elevate himself. This is the order of design. this is the order of design. Let us be in line with the design. We are totally away from the design. The society has to be rebuilt to this extent. It is repeated, this society has to be rebuilt to this extent. Let us see how we can bring it out. Where, and in amicability, society takes it in pleasure. Society takes in pleasure. Today also we take in pleasure what the universe has designed. We are taking it in our own liberal way of moving also. We cannot, as we said, in our liberal way of moving, and number of events affairs have come. They are all pushed out with pleasure, because they are not our entities. We are doing it. We are pleased with the universe, but we do not know. Let us be pleased by awareness, and let that awareness guide us, sustain with us, and we sustain with that awareness ourselves. We live as the universe. No individual entities as a man, you and I, Mr. X and Mr. Y. No. We are all one, that non-physical entities. And how that non-physical entities will be working in the entire universe, as we see in the physical world also, without perversion, without being distracted, that is a very good science, and that is a very good lesson. And let the society be built in that order, where the society admits it with pleasure. Admits it with pleasure. We shall see it now. All these 21 papers are due for one and all of you to read, assimilate, put it on for experimentation on. The entire universe can be experimented on this man, on self. Entire universe can be put it on experiment on the self and be proved for correct. You are that judge. You are designed for that. And himself also can he put on for experimentation with him. That source is that single element, non-dual element, Advaita, with us. Okay, may you all read the papers again and again till man is convinced about his reality. Let's meet again.